builder, Lord. Hey, you guys, how you guys are feeling today? This is LaDon. I'm in the house, and I'm hoping you guys enjoying your weekend. Today's been a good day. Good day. You know, it's been busy. I've been making my money. I'm here. I'm still here. You know, give it up for Jesus. And I'm gonna be real with you guys. Is that you got to thank God that you're still here. You know, because I'm gonna tell you the truth. Before I go into my, my story and my topics, I was like working at the time. Not working. I was like working. Doing some jobs, some food delivery, and what happened was I went down this road, right? The street. And something told me to cut down the road, but I didn't want to cut down the road. And so I said, let me go across to the other lane. So I looked at this lane over here and there was no cars. And I looked, there was a bus over here. It was a bus over here, right? And I was like, so I creeped out inside, right? The first guy right in front of me, he stopped. So I creeped a little bit more, and another car was just like this close, and it stopped. And I just seen my life blank in front of me, like, what happened if that man was on the phone? What happened if that man was texting? What if something disturbed him from not stopping on time? And my life just flashed in front of me. And I was just like, man, like sometimes we look at life and we be mad and depressed and sad, but thank God that you're still here. Give it up for Jesus. Give it up for Jesus. Jesus is, man, I give it up for God because I might not have been here. But he stopped right on time. But sometimes you just, like, man, that car could have killed me, But I'm here, thank God, to tell more stories. So that's what I wanted to tell you about. But I'm hoping you guys are doing having a good weekend and stuff like that. Everybody's going out there for Christmas and enjoying themselves and everything. That's all fine and dandy. But what I want to talk about today is I've been depressed. Yeah, I've been through depression. I've been depressed. I'm gonna tell you the first time I was depressed. I was super depressed. This time I was working for this corporation, and it was it was during the times of when Bush was in office. It's when September 11th happened, and everybody lost their jobs, and it's like it was a downfall in the economy for people to get back on their feet. And during that time, I was just like, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I was at my job that day and I seen a lot of people getting laid off. A lot of people during that time. That was about 15 years ago when Bush was in office, when that September 11th happened. And everybody was getting laid off doing that job. It was a hard time. It was just a hard time. It was a recession. It was extremely hard. And I looked at TV, and I was like, wow, there was a lot of people in unemployment, and I was watching TV at work. And I was like, man, I felt bad for the people, but I was just like, man, I was happy that I had my job, but a lot of people lost their job that day. And during that time, I went back to work, minding my own business. But during that time, I walked into my job, and they said we have to lay you off. And I've been laid off before and stuff like that. I've been laid off. I can just go back to my mom and dad's house and, I was staying with them at the time when stuff really happened bad. But this was a really bad time. And they laid me off, and they gave me a severance package, It was like 3 months pay or something like that. And I did get unemployment, but I lost everything. I did, man. I lost, it was a hard time in my life. I remember I went to because I was like struggling during that time, and I wanted to keep my apartment. It was my apartment, and I had this gold chain that I bought. It was 900. It was 10 karat. Got at the swap meet. It was nice chain. It was gold. It was 10 karat. I had 14 karat, but it was 10 karat. It was a real heavy one too. It was $900 during that time, and I took it to the pawn shop, and I said to myself, I need this money to pay rent. And I took it there, and they gave me like $300 for that chain, just to hold, a loan and stuff like that. And I paid that $300 for that, for my rent with that money. And I never went back and got the chain. I was just like, it was just like I was going through the crisis of losing everything. I lost that gold chain, and I in that pawn shop, I never could get that chain back, and I lost it. But I had my apartment still. But during them times, it was a hard time in my life, I was struggling on a job anyway. And I had, during that time, I had a Suzuki Forenza car. That was one of the worst cars I ever had, but it got me where I need to go. And during that time, I lost my apartment. I had no money. I had no job. And I became depressed. I became super depressed. I had a girlfriend at the time, one of my exes a long time ago, and she took me places to cheer me up, and I've been to like nice hotels, fancy hotels, and she was trying to cheer me up, but I was just straight up depressed. I didn't have no money. During that time, I didn't have no job. I just was struggling, and I became super depressed. I in my time, I remember when I was depressed, I would just play video games all day. My game was NBA sports. NBA. I played basketball all the time. I was just depressed. I didn't want to do nothing. It was a time that I remember when I went to go to my DMV to go get my DMV pictures, and I let my whole face just like, I didn't care, man. I didn't care about my clothes, and I was just depressed. And I sat there and thought about it, and I lost everything. I lost my car, my apartment, and I was just struggling going through it. Just going through it at time. And I was hurt, and I didn't know what to do. But I prayed a lot. I did pray a lot. I listened to a lot of sermons and Bible scriptures and praying, and I just couldn't keep it. And I was depressed, man. I didn't even want to take showers, man. I was just like, really depressed. Like, I remember I was so depressed, I was taking a bath, and I drank a 40 ounce of beer with hot water and just drinking it inside the bathtub. Just drinking it. Because I was just depressed. And I played Tupac. I was playing Tupac. I forgot what song it was, but it was Damn, don't talk on the street. Back in the times, it can think of the day, sipping women in line that could take them in the place. Went to the school, mingling the bulls, and the big boys breaking all the rules. Cheers with my baby sister over the years, the boys and other little kids. That was the jam. Shed so many tears by Tupac, and I was hurt, man. I was out there. I was by the ocean, just sad and just crying and mad and why me and sat there, and I was just by the beach. I used to take long roads by the beach by myself and play church songs, songs about stuff that I just listened to a lot of church songs. I was just depressed, man. I was depressed and then depressed. I was depressed, and I was just going through it during that time. And during that time, man, I put in all kind of applications after applications after applications. During the time when I was on unemployment, I was on unemployment for a couple, like 2 years, 3 years. They were giving unemployment back then, like 2 or 3 years. That was the good old days. But now they only give you 6 months. But I couldn't find a job. And I struggled. And I was mad. And I was sad. And, man, I remember times, man, I was so depressed. I remember when my car got impounded, that Suzuki eventually got impounded. They picked it up. I couldn't afford it no more. And I asked my brother, can, I drive his car? He let me drive his car doing here and there when I was, staying with him. But he said no to me at some time, and I was just like mad, and I was like, man, it was a sad day. I was depressed. I walked to church from when I was in a small town. I used to walk from my brother's house to the church, We're asking God for answers, like, why me? And why this happened? And, I ain't do nothing. I just lost my job, man, It's a sad part of your life when you lose everything. You talk about when you lose your apartment, you lose your house, you lose your car, you lose your clothes, you lose everything. And, man, when when you're depressed is when you don't care what you wear anymore. You don't care about nothing. You're just hoping one day to get back on your feet and praying and hoping and hoping. During them times, I was depressed. I've been so depressed, I don't even want to eat. I'm just sad and mad. And always putting the blame on me, like, did I do this? Did I do this? Why? And because I left my apartment in LA at the time, I had to go back to my mom and dad. And it was hard. It was hard to go back to mom and dad. But first, before I went to my mom and dad's, I went to my brothers. Stayed with my brothers. That was cool. I appreciate my brother. Love my brother to death for doing that for me. But during them times, it was just hard for me. You talk about hard. Talking about, I remember times when, I had enough money, just 10 cents just to go get Top Ramen and eat that. I remember I had enough money just to get hot dogs for 99 cents and eat them. But I'm telling you, the best food is when you're hungry. I'm just going to be real. When, you didn't ate nothing and stuff that you appreciate when you're hungry, that's the best food on the planet. We always think, oh, this food is good, man. It's when you starve and you ain't got no food and you're just trying to make it. It sucks, man. I know a lot of people out there been through it, but this is my story. During that time, man, I was staying with my brother and I was depressed. I listened to the sermons from Church Service, T.D. Jakes, Jabal Bry, Noah Jones, so many people just to motivate me. And I was just going through it. And then I remember I was in the park around from my brother's house, not for the park, this desert. I wanted to throw my desert. I kept throwing myself in the air, screaming to God, like, why me, Jesus? Why me? And I felt like the guy in the Bible. Why me? Why me? Screaming and yelling. I'm throwing dirt up in the air. I don't know if I was an actor or not, but I'm just throwing dirt in the air. I was depressed. And I remember a cop came out there and he said it was wrong. He didn't say nothing to me. He just stared at me from a far distance. And he didn't say nothing to me. And he just drove back off. Because I was screaming to Jesus. I remember I used to jump out of cars and ask God, like, why me? Sweetest joy is Jesus. It's the sweetest joy, that song by Jesus. It's the sweetest joy is Jesus. The sweetest name is Jesus. That's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. He died. I think it's Alan something, but I remember he died. But it was a huge song in the gospel music. And I used to stop my car and jump out the car and get on my knees. And I'm telling you the truth, sometimes, man, God will tell me, get on your knees. I get on my knees in the middle of the store. I get on my knees in the middle of a pavement. I get on my knees in the middle of people. It's just God telling me, get on your knees and praise me. And I did. Because I knew He was the only one that can help me. Nobody else can help me. You know? It sucks when you by yourself. You know, the hardest part is when my grandma said to me, I know you going through it, but she said to me when I was young, is you're going to go through something in your life, ain't nobody going to be there but you and God. And I laughed. I was like, oh, what? I was young. I was like, what? What do you mean? But my grandma said that to me. It's just going to be you and God and nobody else. And I laughed when I was young. And I understand when they said, when what's the name laughed at, when he said, told that woman, you're going to have a baby, and she laughed, and she didn't believe it. It's the same thing. You're just like, yeah, whatever. You're young. You don't understand, you know. You're like, yeah, whatever. And she did tell me that. And I remember it was just me and God. I was so depressed, man. I sit there. I went to Barnes and Nobles and read Bibles and sit there in the middle all day long for 2-3 hours and read the Bible and just didn't understand why me. Didn't understand, man. I didn't understand one bit. And during that time, it was just a struggle. You know, I was looking at all that and I just didn't understand, like, what did I do? Sometimes we look at God, and I know that guy in the Bible, he always says, you know, I forgot his name, but he was in the middle of the desert and everything died and he lost everything. And he's like, why me? Well, what did I do? I didn't do nothing. But sometimes in life, man, God humbles you to let you know who's in charge. And, you know, I was not reckless as a kid. I liked to party, you know, and dance and stay out of trouble. But my grandma told me that. And I appreciate her telling me that, you know. And I'm glad I can share with you guys that too. But during that time, I mean, I was depressed and going through it and just hurt, watching TV but I kept putting applications in for jobs, but jobs wasn't opening nothing for me. But it did nothing. I appreciate the people that let me stay with them and all that. But I didn't understand. Sometimes we don't understand life. But they said joy is coming in the morning. You know? And I didn't understand that. And I remember one day, I was listening to a sermon, and Jesus spoke to me in my mind. He was like, you need to stop your crying. You need to keep your head up, stay strong, and have faith. It's going to get better. And I was like, he's right. I was like, it's going to get better. And I was just like, I know it's bad now, but it's going to be better. But what I'm thinking, what he said, that one song by Marvin Sapp, he sing the best in me. And I still start walking to church and things start changing for me. You know? I didn't have a job, but I'd start appreciating life and stop being depressed and people were behind me. Even my best friend was like, Don, why are you struggling? I know you suffering, but my family was there during the time. My ex was there, and I didn't see that. I just saw that, why me? Why this had to happen? But I had friends that was by my side and everything. But God was like, you need to stop thinking and have faith, and it's going to get better. And it's the God honest truth. It did start getting better. It did. I went back to my mom and dad's house And I stayed with them, and I didn't understand why I had to go back to my mom and dad. I was like, why I'm here? But that was the time to forgive my dad, you know? And staying with my brother was a time to build a relationship with my younger brother. You know, and I didn't understand. I was like, well, why God doing this? You know? And I have no friends. And I prayed for years and years to have friends. And I remember I met my homie Hot Rod. Came into my life, and we laughed, and we talked, and my life got better, and I didn't have no job. But I think during that time, I gave up of thinking for so much in my life of all the things why it happened to me that my tears start drying. And what happened was God gave me peace. He gave me peace I didn't understand. But I was happy for no reason. I started living life again and hanging out with my friends and enjoying life and seeing it for what it is. And I had to learn, this was just scripture, not scripture, it was a sermon on this tape. It was, you lose everything, but you didn't lose your mind. And when I heard this tape, I played it over and over and over. I lost everything. But one thing that God showed me is you didn't lose your mind. And that was the most beautiful scripture. I even shared it with my mom. And I was like, wow. And I look at that and I give God the praise because I said to myself, like, I became happy. I started enjoying life. I started going places, and I didn't have no money. People used to give me money to go out and done, because I had a car. I had another car that my family helped me buy. And I think I had the blue car I had, the Suzuki. And these people gave me gas money. Don, I don't know you. I know you were struggling right now, but here's some money you can get into the club. Man, and we went and we had a ball in life. God gave me the peace. He just like, don't worry about it. You're going to go get it again. You're going to get it again. And I was depressed during them times. I was hurt during them times. I've been through a lot of shit in my life. But I learned in life is that depression is here for a moment. It's here for a day. Sometimes it can be 6 months. Sometimes it can be a year. Sometimes it can be 2 years. Until you learn in life that things are material things, you will get it again. Because the number one factor in life is that you didn't lose your mind. Your mind is the most powerful gift on the planet. The material things, like they always say, it comes and it goes. You will get it again. And you learn in life, because you lost it, God gonna give you more than you can think of. All the little stuff that I had, I got double for all the depression and the craziness I've been through. But God says you gotta go do something to get something. That's what he says. That's what he means. He's not just gonna give it to you. And when he gives it to you, you're gonna know that he gave it to you. But I learned that even if I lost everything, Long as I have my mind, I'll get it again. And God's going to overflow you. Like the guy in the Bible, he lost everything and he got double, triple. He was just like, what? But why do God do that to us? What God is saying to me is to let you know I am in control. God will let you know that I am in control. And when you know that, your life will be better. Sometimes we don't pray every day. Sometimes we don't go to church every day. But one thing I love about God, he don't give up on us. We might give up on him, but he don't give on us. He don't give up on us because he loves us. We're his kids. He created me. He know how many hairs he got on my head. He knows. He knows. He read the scripture. He knows the beginning and the end of your life. That's what I learned from depression. I learned that from the press, being depressed. I didn't understand when I was going through the winter and the storm during that time. But God told me, stop worrying about it. You with little faith. And I had to believe that says, God says, wake up. Stop crying. Stop being mad. Stop being upset. You're going to get it again. And guess what? I got it again. I got clothes. I got I don't even need nothing anymore. God says, I'm going to take care of the people that got their own. And we worry, why me, and why me, and why me. But God's going to take care of you. So what I want to say is, I've been depressed after that like I did before? No. In my 20s and 30s, I didn't get it right. In my 40s, I start getting things right. But maybe you gotta ask God for wisdom and knowledge. David asked for knowledge. Why can't I ask for knowledge? But that's the wisdom that God gives me. So what I want to say is, God gonna take care of you out there. Even if you lose yourself in the streets, but God is always telling you, come on back. But God, I do heroin. Come on back. God, I ain't got no jack. I ain't got no job. Come on back. That's what God does. Come on back to me. But God, I don't have nowhere to stand at. Don't worry about it. I'll give it all to you. Just come on back to me. And that's what God is saying to us. Come on back. I know there's people on the streets going through it and having problems in life. And sometimes they just do not want to, because we're stubborn people in this world. We are lovers of ourselves. We want to do what we want to do. We're stubborn. We don't care. But I love the thing about God. And if you're down on your luck, you don't have nothing. But he always says, come on back. I'm on heroin. Come on back. I'm on fentanyl. Come on back. He always asking for you to come on back to him. Thank God. It might be a struggle. It might be hard. But God is always watching and preparing for you for bigger and greater things. And sometimes in life, you cannot get what you want because you don't appreciate what he gave you. And what I mean by that, Take care of what he gave you. Take care of your house. Take care of your clothes. Don't let it get dirty and nasty and make your apartment, and make sure you take care of it. And sometimes we don't do what you want us to do. But one thing I love about God is, come on back. That was a good video right there. Woo! What I want to say to you guys, I had a damn good time. And I hope you guys had a good time for me too. And the reason I share my life with you, you think I share my life? I share my life because I had this in my head for years and years. If you don't believe me, go back to my video when I was in the park, sitting there recording on my phone, talking about LaDon's in the house, LaDon in the house. That was 10 years? I think it was like 10 years ago. And I saw that video on YouTube, and it always makes me go, wow, I know what I'm supposed to do. I know everybody ain't gonna like my video, and that's cool. Everybody don't like Jesus. So why I think everybody gonna like me? I'm just little old me giving you the story of my life to make you laugh, make you mad, make you happy, some sad. Just being me. That's what I love about myself. The older you get, start loving yourself more and more every day. Because there's only one you in this earth. I have a trillion. I don't know if it's a trillion people. It's more than a trillion. I don't know. But there's only one you. So I'm going to beat me. But anyways, I had a damn good time with you guys. I am going to go. Bye.